Brief disclaimer, before we start this video, I'm obsessed with secondary play. I always have been. I'm not a newbie. I'm not a newbie Seahawks fan. I've been a fan of football my whole life, since the mid-'80s. Anyways, I love secondary play. That's my true passion. I'm going to show you in this video who I think is going to make it for the Seahawks and who I think the future stars are on this roster. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wes here, aka Seahawktimus Prime, and this is the Seahawks Times, your go-to NFL channel for all things NFL related. And if you're a Seahawks fan, you're especially going to love this channel. Thank you, everyone who's subscribed. I'm over 100 subscribers now. I know this doesn't sound like much, but I'm trying to get to 1,000. Just help me out, man. Push that sub if you like this stuff. Check it out. If you know me at all, which none of you do, you're just getting to know me, I am a huge defense guy when it comes to football. I played a little bit of corner when I was younger, not at a college level, but that's my thing, is secondary play. I absolutely love secondary play. It's my favorite thing. And when Seattle really came into the Carroll era and brought secondary to the forefront of their program, I was ecstatic. And it's just been a cornerstone of this football program ever since then. And what's so amazing about secondary is players can just come out of nowhere. It doesn't necessarily matter where you were drafted or your measurables. It's just about how you can play and react to the football and so many other variables. And I'm going to look at Seattle secondary today with you guys, and we're going to take a deep dive into whether or not we have stars on the team right now, up and coming stars. Who are those young stars? Who do we have in the secondary, and what can they do in 2022-23? Let's start at the safety position. We've got two blue chip safeties, Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. They don't need an introduction, but Jamal Adams, still young, 26, started with the Jets, an amazing downhill safety. You know, they call him Blitz Boy, whatever you want to call him. He is an all-around football player. Jamal Adams can do a lot of things. He was asked to play out of position quite a bit, and we're just getting to see his untapped potential. And I believe in this season, Jamal Adams is going to be a game wrecker, and I'm so happy he's here. It sucks that he's had some injuries, but you can't look at the past. That's football. Yeah, we gave up a lot of capital for him. You know, in retrospect, would you have given up that much capital for Jamal Adams? Probably not. But are you happy that Jamal Adams is on your team? I absolutely am. So forget the haters on him. Blue chip player. Quandre Diggs, 29 years old, getting a little bit older, you know, suffered a bad injury last year, but he kind of can defy age, his style of play. He's kind of like an Ed Reed guy. He just knows where to be. He's flying all over the place, and he's got the coldest interception celebration when he does that. I love it. Quandre Diggs is a dog, and he's a great person, though. He really is, like, you know, I would say the captain of this defense at this stage. They might give that role to like Brooks, but you know, Quandre is the captain of the team. Those are our OGs at safety. You know, behind them we got Ryan Neal. I really like Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal just comes in, does what he's supposed to do. He can hit, he can cover a bit. He's not the craziest hip twitch guy, but he knows where to be, and he's a real nasty player. Like, Ryan Neal will smack you up, bro. Like, he'll hit you, like try to hit you like on some Chancellor stuff. He doesn't have that weight behind him, but I really like Ryan Neal. And then let's get to a player that I really want to break out this year, and that's Marquis Blair. Marquis Blair, when he was on the field, you know, barring a couple games, he was a phenomenal player. He just make plays. He can really smack people. He can really hit. But Marquis Blair is a lot of untapped potential. If he can stay on the field, I think he's going to be on the field a lot with the Seahawks in, you know, dime and nickel sets. In heavy safety sets, 3 safety sets, which I think they'll be doing a lot this year. So don't sleep on Marquis Blair. I know they're high on him. He's got to get into camp, and he's got to get on the field because it's make or break for him. Like, Blair could be a star or he could be cut. That's where he's at right there. But I really like him, and I do think they would rather have him playing on the field than Neal or subbing. You know, they drafted Marquis Blair high. He's a 2nd-round pick now. He's a really good player. Now let's get into some of the young bucks in camp. Names: Bubba Bouldin. Now, Bubba Bouldin, I saw some film. He's about 209 pounds out of Miami, a real thumper. I like his game. He doesn't have a ton of like one crazy trait, but he just looks like an NFL safety. I like him. Scott Nelson out of Nebraska, a real kind of just solid football guy, always around the ball, a real like kind of country boy, literally cornbread type of hitter guy. I could see him sneaking onto at least the PS, but like if things get hasty, you know, he could get minutes. Both of those guys. The guy I'm most excited about, actually, and I know another one of my subs had said this, holler yourself out, Deontay Williams. I started studying a lot about him. Now, Deontay Williams, he's not a huge guy, but he's like super rangy. You know what I mean? Like he can really fly around the field. He's very Seahawky. Now, go check out some film on Deontay Williams. I'll try to link some below if I can, but he's super, super good, man. And ladies, I think he can make this team eventually, if not immediately. Josh Jones. Now, he's a bit of a vet. He comes downhill. He's a real thumper. I don't know if there's a place for Josh Jones on this team outside of, depth, but I do like Josh Jones. He has experience. He's a hitter. He's kind of like a real downhill kind of guy. I know they're moving towards youth and a little bit more range, but I do like the idea of having a hitter around. But at his age, I don't think that they'll keep him unless he can just really impress in preseason and make the team directly. And then you got Joey Blount, who kind of coming in, hoping to be a practice squad guy, a bigger guy, 6'1", but I don't really know enough about him. I'll have to study more about him to see if I think he can take out like a Bubba Bouldin, Williams, or a Scott Nelson. That's our depth at safety. Now, I'll get into the cornerback room right now, and, we have Trey Brown. I think Trey Brown is locked in. Trey Brown will be in his second year coming off of an ACL. He was phenomenal. Trey Brown is an awesome corner. I think they stole him. Can he come back with the same speed and aggressiveness will be the only thing for Trey. I think Trey Brown is a phenomenal player and starts right away. Kobe Bryant, I think he's blue chip. I've seen everything you could see on Kobe Bryant. Every snap that you could see. This kid is special. I'm just going to say it right now. He's a special player. Don't worry about his spark. Don't even look at that. Sometimes it will cost him that he's not the most explosive athlete, sure, but he does not slip. He does not get caught lacking. He does not let stuff go. This guy has a short memory. He is a baller. He's a gamer, and he's a blue chip player for Seattle, and I think that could be the steal of the draft at the corner position. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays better football than Sauce Gardner in this system in year one. I said it. Sidney Jones. I'm a big Washington Dogs fan. Jones is a good football player. I don't see the star ability in him. He's been in the league long enough, but he is a starting caliber NFL cornerback that is tenacious, can play inside, can play outside, can tackle, and has good ball skills. So Sidney Jones, I know they want him on the team and he's going to make this team. I don't know if they want him to start. I think that they would love to, by the end of the year, have somebody else start for him, but we'll get into that later. And I think you know who it is, but we'll see what's going on. And I got some other stuff to talk about how I think they want their secondary to play out here with a really new kind of look with Desai and just how they are and how aggressive they want to be. Artie Burns. Now, Artie Burns comes in with Desai from Chicago, hurt and Desai no Burns. I think Burns at 27, is a starting caliber player. That he's able to start. I don't think they want him to. He will be depth, or maybe he just comes out and just looks so good in the system with his familiarity that he takes a spot from Sidney or something like that. I don't think he can upset Trey. Let's get into the unicorn in the room. And that's Tariq Woolen. I've had a lot of conversation about Woolen before. All Seahawks bloggers and podcasters have. He is a magical unicorn, the greatest spark athlete at the corner position in the history of the NFL. Yeah, he went to University of Texas, San Antonio. Know how good could the competition be? Yeah, look, man. They counted out Seabiscuit until he ran that last mile. You know what I mean? This guy is amazing. From what I see him, the glimmer in the coach's eye when they talk about Tariq Woolen, not only is the sky's the limit for this guy, I'm starting to think that he's actually going to make not only make the roster but play next year, and I'm so excited for that player. We've always wanted to have that kind of Sherman guy back since Sherm left. This guy is Sherman on Ritalin, on 15 caffeine pills with an injection of Avatar DNA genetics. He's amazing, and yeah, he's got a lot to prove, but just I could see that this guy is going to be a star, guys. I can see it. I don't just want to will it into existence. I can just I see it, and I'm rarely wrong about that stuff.
Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, Justin Coleman, great FA signing. I think they needed to bring in Justin Coleman. He's familiar with the system overall, and he would really fit well with Carroll and Desai and what they're trying to do moving forward. So I think he wins the position out of the slot.
Ugo Ahmadi. Ugo Ahmadi is a utility player. You know, we remember him from getting burned by Deontay Adams, you know, but he's a good player. Like, Ugo's got good ball skills. He's an amazing special teams player. He can play safety, 3 cornerback positions. He's a super small guy, but he's super good.
Behind Ugo, you get into depth players like John Reed, who's played significant snaps for Seattle, actually done a really good job, but I think he's a bit undersized for this particular scheme. Projects more as a slot guy in another team. Mike Jackson, kind of a bigger, kind of oversized, traditional Seahawks corner, but he's more of a depth player too at this stage. Good player though. He could probably catch on somewhere. And then Elijah Jones, another project player. After analyzing all these roster spots available at the 90-man stage of the roster, who's going to start week 1? That's my prediction. Very interesting against Denver. There's 2 different scenarios here. Who's going to start week 1 against Denver, and who Seattle wants to be their secondary for the next 2 or 3 years going forward in the future. Week 1, outside we'll have Trey Brown. I think Trey Brown is going to recover, shine in camp, if not late in camp. In the preseason, he's just too good. He's an outside corner for now. On the other side, we're going to have Coby Bryant. Coby Bryant's going to get a game right out of the gate and play well, I think. Inside, Justin Coleman, I got to give him that. He was really good in Seattle's system. I think he'll adapt to this system currently. Behind them, of course, you got Adams and Quandre Diggs. That's, I think, the week 1 secondary lineup with Marquis Blair running around and trying to smash, and perhaps some Neal splashed in there. Who does Seattle want their secondary to be of the future? This is where the stars come out, and I think they have been missing stars at corner, and they've got them again. Outside, Tariq Woolen. That's who they want to have play. I would guess by mid-season, they want him to take a spot. You know, Sidney Jones might be spelling here and there, maybe even starts outside if Trey is hurt, but I think they want Woolen to be an outside corner this year. Make no mistakes about it, at some point in time. Yes, he's raw, but we've heard that before. You know, this is kind of a year where you can experiment. So yeah, Tariq Woolen, they want Trey Brown on the inside, and then they move Coby on the outside, Coby Bryant, and then you still have Diggs, and you still have Jamal, and that's nasty for a long time. Once those guys get a little long in the tooth, look at the depth you have. This is going to be exciting. So I find it interesting. Our linebackers are ranked in the top 5, but our secondary is not even ranked, I think, in the top half, which is funny because in their prime, if I give you Tariq Woolen, Coby Bryant, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, and inside Trey Brown, ooh, I would say that's pretty nasty. Peace.